Hello, dear folks. Welcome to the show, Jack Chow on East West Show with the G&E TV. As one of the slogan that I hold on to the show, that we always try to get the news behind news, to get the story behind stories. By that, I'm not saying that we're diggers. By that, I'm only saying that we're trying to bring the community some knowledge, some understanding about how we can improve ourselves, or at least we can prevent something bad to happen, right? That said, I have to make a huge introduction to my friend, Mr. Bill Young, the Honorable Bill Young, the former senior engineer of Douglas Aircraft, who's been in the business for almost his whole lifetime. And he's been a very big supporter to the community, especially to the show. And I appreciate a lot. And one thing also need to mention is that they have typically, just for this show, they have canceled their flight. No, postponed their flight to South Carolina, which was scheduled to be today to tomorrow, just to make himself available for the show. For that and for everything, Bill, thank you very much. And once again, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Mr. Bill Young has been active in the field for so many years while doing his job in both China and the United States. In China, you stayed there for more than 20 years, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay. He has accumulated quite enough knowledge, I would say more than anything possible regarding anything that flies, including birds, right?
Well, not so much birds, but well, I call the airplane a bird, so yeah, maybe.
Yeah. The last few times when there had been disasters, aviation disasters, we had Bill on the show to talk about it. And this one with the latest accident or the aviation disaster by the flight number 9525 of Germanwings. We're putting our thoughts together for a chance to offer our audiences an opportunity to understand who is responsible or who should be, who shall be. And we know the investigation still undergoing. There's no final conclusion, but yet with the information released so far, we know what we're talking about. So, Bill, shall we start by a little analysis about the whole description or of the incident, please?
Well,
yeah.
I'll let you say what you think you need to. The airplane was a Airbus, which I won't go into my feelings on those, but the locking a crew member out of a cockpit is something that you can't even do in the U.S. They're all key doors, so you slide a key in and turn it. All the cockpit and cabin crew have keys, so anybody can get in the cockpit that's authorized. You can't lock them out, which is what was done here. And to me, that's unsafe. Because you had a pilot go nuts and kill himself and along with 150 other people.
155, the total.
Well,
Total.
Could be that many. The problem is that he should have been able to have been stopped, because several things to me, throw up big red flags. One, flight crews have a psychological eval once a year from the airline. It's required by the FAA.
Bill, there is much information. So many pieces of information that I would like to share with my audience one by one. Let's stay to the door for the time being. I heard over the articles and the comments about the incident, they say it wasn't a method adopted after 9/11 to have all aircraft I mean, all over the world have that doors computerized instead of having to use a key. Is that true or false?
I don't know for sure on that.
Mm-hmm.
All I can do is remember myself,
Mm-hmm.
and I haven't flown since after 9/11, so I don't know for sure.
I see.
The way it was in here up until at least up until then, everybody had a key.
Mm-hmm.
You go to electronic key, which is basically a combination lock rather than a key lock.
Uh-huh.
That's just a big time difference.
I see.
And the Airbus had a key, a combination lock on the door, right beside the door.
I see. I see.
There should not be a way of disabling that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But apparently
In
there
other
is.
word, by logic, there has to have an access to the other crew members.
Right.
If somebody tries to make something happen.
If somebody gets sick, gets bad food and dies,
Uh-huh.
there's a number of things that can happen.
Nobody can lock himself or herself in.
Right.
Am I right?
That's
So by logic, it's supposed to be that way, right?
Yes.
All right. And and I discussed this with quite lots of friends who are supposed to have lots of knowledge of the anti-terrorist methodologies.
Well, the doors are armored now, which means you can't just break them down.
Yeah, door itself is kind of metal.
It's,
Am I right?
It's armored. It's not just metal.
I see.
No, but it's top a fairly large
I see.
caliber weapon.
And they told me that the purpose of the reason of changing the physical key into those computerized lock is to prevent a situation. For example, if some terrorist forced one of the crew members or any of the crew members to either give the key, I have no key, or to give the combination, I don't have a combination, or give a code, I don't have a code, to control the inside and make it known to the rest of the world. So even including the terrorists themselves. So there is no push to get people killed. Say, hey, give me the key or I kill you. Boom, like that. That's right.
Well,
so does it sound a positive thing to you?
That's a problem, and one you've got to worry about.
All right.
And probably the reason Airbus put the cockpit switch that disables the keypad in the cockpit, because the keypad was disabled and the cockpit locked. And to me, the main problem behind it was he passed a psychological test that he should not have passed. The corporation knew he had depression or had been treated for it. Now, whether he actually still had it or not, we don't know.
I see.
And never will.
Sure. We're not done yet with the door.
Yes.
Let's see. Are we saying all Airbuses are equipped like that, or say a Boeing system has that too?
Well, the Boeing system is a key. Now, Airbus, the pictures I saw of the combination lock was the first time I had seen that lock set up. So I don't know what the Airbus is. I've been on a few of them, but I've not worked on Airbuses.
All right. As a message to my audiences, though, to the community, though, if they had a chance to choose to fly via either Airbus or Boeing, do they have a choice, or can they make their own choices?
They
Try
can,
to
but
prevent having to wait on one.
They can by being judicious in which flights you choose. Because airlines fly Airbuses on certain flights and Boeing's on other flights. So depending on where you want to go and how long you want to go.
All right.
Because the Airbuses have a little bit longer range than the Boeing aircraft. Though the 47 has more than enough to make most jumps. Now you fly from Texas to deep South America, that's a long flight.
That's a long flight. Yeah.
And the Airbuses will make that one, but the Boeings will not.
I see.
Well, the Boeings will make it, but just don't have enough reserve to be legal when they land. Because when you land, you're supposed to have 10% fuel left.
I see.
And if you don't, you've got a problem.
Yeah. Of course, the mechanism, the capability of an aircraft is one thing, but the safety issue, especially the door issue, is the other. So is it a positive thing or negative thing to have a door equipped like that or designed like that?
Well, this is a good question. And my immediate answer is no. However, you start looking at the terrorist situation, and you come to the idea maybe it's a good idea the crew can lock themselves in. Now, in this case, that particular ability was abused by a man who should not have been in the cockpit. Because to get access to a cockpit, you've got to be very stable and very good at whatever your job is.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah, of course, yeah.
And then you've got a hierarchy that the captain has command. You don't argue with him. Unless you see a safety issue, then you might say something.
And I
But you don't
did, I did my homework. I did quite some search on the internet about the incident, and I found out there were lots of different categories of problems. Number one, the mental conditions, right? Number two, necessary requirement of air hours. Number three, the necessary or mandatory trainings, basic trainings. And then the man himself, his normal behavior, and then the company itself talking about is it's a low fare by shrinking on the salaries, cutting down the benefit and everything together. So shall we please, Bill, take a little break, and when we come back, shall we talk one by one all the categories, please? All right. My dear audience, thank you very much, Bill. My dear audience, today with me is my good friend and senior engineer of Douglas Aircraft, the Honorable Bill Young, my good friend. So let's take a short moment out. When we come back, we will find out problems with all the categories: mental conditions, necessary hours, necessary trainings, and the air company itself. So stay with us, please. We'll be right back.